get my microphone ready. It's saying that I'm live, but it's always hard to tell. It takes like 10 seconds for everything to go out and you actually being live. And then I have to get the link in YouTube Studio so that I can send it in my Discord, because I don't think that that happens automatically. There is no way to program it the way that I want to automatically, I think. Nice, got another copyright strike. Claim. Okay. Stream announcement is out. Should be live. Everything should be set up. Iggy, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so I haven't worked on this project in a long time. It has been a long while since I did any kind of streaming outside of feedback stream, and even the feedback stream I didn't do that for 3 weeks because I was gone. So it's been quite a while, and I'm not quite sure what this track sounded like, which is a good thing, I think, because that means that I get to start from scratch and I get to reevaluate all of the ideas. So I'm just going to have a quick listen, and then we'll get started producing together. It's a bit loud on my side here. I missed the streams, unfortunately. I'm currently working on my software project. I hope that I can be proper background noise for your software projects. I'm not sure about this ARP synth here. I like the idea of having the melody there, but I don't like the way that it's currently working. Maybe we should get this part out here. Or the atonal synths there. I'm not sure about the melody, and all of this section is... I guess that this section is really rough in terms of idea. Like, I'm not sure about the synth that's in here and the way that it's slowing down in here. It sounds all a little bit strange to me. I'm a much bigger fan of what is happening here in this part. This sounds really, really cool. We can work with that. What what I first want to do is remove this one over here. I should be naming things more between streams and stuff like that. I forgot to do that before this one because it has been a while. What we can do... What we can do is try to, at least for the synth part here, use this here. Or here. Hello, man. You know, I'm sorry. Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry for the mispronouncing of the name. I don't even have to say, like, I'm sorry for probably mispronouncing your name. I just know that that's wrong, but that's all I have. I'm gonna delete these 2 tracks here. And I'm going to remove this part here so that we have the melody on its own. And then we go into some atonal stuff here when it kind of like switches. Maybe we'll have like another effect in here. But that means that we do need probably some more stuff for this part here. Now what we could do is just... Okay, so this is the watery synth. These 2 are removed. Let's do some housekeeping here. Let's just see what happens if we take this and just go like... I guess like this. It already has a part in there. Hello Dash, hello Sophist. Welcome, welcome. Little bit boring still, but I like this part a lot. I like the drums in here. I like how this is working. So what I would want to do is maybe implement some of those things in here as well. Because there's like the snares and stuff. I guess we could just copy the snares the way that they are here. I need to turn on the live enhancement suite. There's not a lot of... I guess a riser there would be nice, first of all. Just in the fill. There's not like a lot of energy flow happening right now. That's, I think, the main problem. That's what keeps it boring. Like, the synths are kind of all there. But we need more impact and swooshes down and sweeps up and stuff like that. So, sweep... Something like this here. Here we have an empty spot that we can do something with. See if we can make a better synth. Can just maybe do something FME here. Would it be cool to have this as a one-shot and make it like the only gritty synth sound with any form of delay on it? Just going in there. Maybe like a very slow time, long delay kind of thing. I like that. I like the sound of that. It's nice and open and it kind of delays in this part over here. I want to do an atmosphere. Kind of like a bandpass atmosphere, I think. Little bandpass sweep. Let's go with one of my wavetables. You don't go all the way down, but something like this, you get a nice sweep up. This thing I want to raise. Have it go up over time as well. Do the same with the volume, and then we'll have a long delay on this as well. Needs to start off much quieter than before because I don't want it to interfere with the delay of this thing here. I like that. That's sounding good. I want this delay to come in a little bit louder, I guess. So now we need a sound that transforms to a lower octave here. I think it might be better to go for like an atmosphere. Something like that. I have some cool faceplant stuff from that pack that I recently made. This scary texture thing here. I think. It's not doing anything. Why is it? Aha! Does it need to be higher still? Can you play that riser again? This one? There you go. I hope that's the one that you ask about. Let's see, let's go back to this thing here. This might not be the one that I'm after. Practically a horror movie, I think. Yeah, this is... You sampled it? Well, you can just make it. It's not hard to make. It's just my 12th bandpass sweep thing with 3 voices of detune. I know you won't make it if you have already sampled it, but I guess I'll explain it. Some filtering on there, and then some delay on there. That's it. That's the whole thing. Oh yeah, and the volume here. You can get it in much higher quality if you remake it, by the way, because YouTube's compression is... I was gonna say it's not the best, but it's like terrible what it does to audio. Even at the higher bit rates, which I'm not making use of, by the way, it is going to be terrible audio quality. Okay, so 1 octave lower. I'm extremely bad at synthesis and it's really boring for me personally. Oh, well then you're gonna have a hard time making psytrance. At least making original psytrance, if that's what you're after. Because you're going to have to rely on presets and stuff like that. I think psytrance, when it comes to like making actual good proper music, you need to learn sound design. Because we don't have any music theory and we don't do any chords and progression and stuff like that. The only characteristic that you can have is your sound design. So if you don't even have that, then there's a charm to lo-fi sometimes. Early samplers were 12-bit. Okay. Personally, that's I don't see it like that. It's not that kind of bitrate anyway. It's kilobits per second that we're after. So it is over time. It's not the bit depth, it's the bit rate, which is different. I can explain that, by the way, if you guys need to. Let me just quickly whip up the little canvas here that I have. The bit depth that you're talking about with samplers is how much information exists in one instant of time. So in your case, 12 bits, right? The bit rate is how many bits are used per second to do the whole audio wave. So this is your audio wave. This time is 1 second. And this is your bit rate as well. So this will be maybe like 10K. That's a high bit rate, right? So it will use 10 kilobytes, 10,000 kilobytes, so 10 megabytes. It will use 10 megabytes per second of delivering however many bit depths that you have. Lower bit depth can actually help sound louder. That's true. Lower bit depth, it's there's like rounding errors and stuff like that, because it makes some samples louder as it interpolates to a lower bit depth. But bit depth and bit rate are two different things, and there's a little bit of like correlation to them. But usually when it comes to streaming stuff, you don't touch the bit depth. The bit depth becomes adaptive to the signal, right? So it will use more bits the louder you get to get more definition or the more clarity that you need. So what that means is that, for example, as the riser that I just played, this one for you to sample, as it was very quiet, you'll have less details in there than when it's very loud. Now, technically, that I guess it doesn't really matter. What matters more is just the overall bit rate. Some people's shine in different areas of music. Some people are making stuff from scratch. Some good at mashing samples together. Some good at both. Some are good at tricking streamers into playing shit for them and making shit for them. Because that's what happened, technically. You, without telling me what you were planning to do, technically just stole that riser from me. If you really want to get technical about things. It's not that I care, it's not that it matters. If you want to use that riser, go ahead. Just take it. But speaking about technicalities and what people are better at and what people are less good at, I do think, if you want my opinion on the whole sound design debate, it would be better for people to actually know sound design if they're making sidetracks. Don't worry, if you tell me not to, I won't. I mean, you already did. I will look like an asshole if I tell you no now to the public. That's how it works. You already did it, so you gave me no choice. No choice. It's okay. It's not that I don't mind. Like, even if you had asked before, I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. I kind of knew what you were doing, even, because nobody just asks you to, you know, play a riser on its own. It's not an interesting sound. You didn't ask me how I made it, you just wanted it. So I knew, like, you're going to sample it, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. You can use it. I give you permission. It's just, it feels a little bit strange that you wouldn't ask me in the beginning, just like, hey, can you play that riser? I would like to sample it. Then I have the option to say, well, I would mind if you would do that, or if you didn't. But it's okay. It's, as I said, I do not mind it. So just for the next time, if you're in somebody else's stream, maybe they won't like it if you just, without telling them that that's your intention, that you're going to yoink a sound like that. Hello, MindB. Hello, David Paul. Get that chunky kick and bass. I do have a chunky kick and bass. It is maybe not the best, the bass line. It's a little bit... It's not the worst either. I feel like at lower octave here, when it has to go lower, it has a little bit of trouble. I guess what's happening is that mainly the harmonic that it's boosting is different. Like the third harmonic. It is boosting at like 5 dB. Maybe I can emulate that boost a little bit in here by just going like this. I feel bad. Don't worry. As I said, there's nothing to worry about. It's just something for if you do it next time, you know, just know that it's a bit of a dick move to do, but I'm personally not offended by it. It's just something, it just feels, you know, when you don't say, like, hey, can you play that riser again? I want to sample it. If you just say, I want to sample it, then the person can say no. If you say, like, oh, can you play that riser? And then you play it. It's the same as if you were to say, like, hey, can you solo the kick and bass? And I just do this. And then you just go, hey, thank you, I got it. See you, bye-bye. And you just use that in your own track. How did you make this bass table? This baseline table, it was a very long process of separating harmonics from an ordinary saw wave. And essentially what it is, it's a saw wave where I'm doing this. I can go over the basic, but there was a whole cleaning process and fixing process in there to actually make this work as a wavetable, because it does weird stuff when you... I'll show you. Give me 2 seconds. It's in EQ, right? Freeform phase. Here, this one. I resampled this process here. Hello? Yeah. So this process over here, which is the M freeform phase preset that I always used to use on my basslines. So I resampled this process from 0 to 10,000%. And in order to do that, I had to like separate the saw wave into a few harmonics that were processed less or not processed at all. And then we have just the depth going up over time. Right, so if this is your wavetable, if you're creating the wavetable over, I don't know, 4 bars, I go like C1, like this, and I turn up the depth over this time over here. Right, so this is the basis of the wavetable, it's just the depth going up. It's just kind of like that, the kind of the disperser thing that you get. It's just that in order for this to actually work as a wavetable, I had to separate it in, I think I did like removing the lowest 3 or 4 harmonics. So I did something like this, and then I replaced those with individual sine waves that then either went through a different version of this M freeform phase with lower depths over the time, like one would go to maybe halfway, and then another one would go to a quarter or something like that. And then I believe the lowest 2 of them didn't go through M freeform phase at all whatsoever. Damn it, now I'm inspired to start making sidetrends again. As if that's a bad thing. Come close, how are you doing? Welcome. Okay. Okay, what I want is more atmosphere in here, but I kind of want to lead up to that with what we have going on here. Maybe we should have another glitchy one shot in here. Let's make some quick glitch synths. I'm just going to use one of those combination table things. For those that don't know, if you have the Tone Packs Volume 2, you get these combination tables. Oh. Which are reading just the individual cycles from the pack, right? So all of these cycles all put together in one wavetable so that you can not morph between them, but kind of step between them. So I could say, do a note on random on the wavetable position. And you just get different gritty sounds out of that. Let's do what I want to set up is like a random machine here. I can take the MIDI note length. Okay, something like that. And then I'll take LFO. And I want that to map to here. With, there is a way, right? Like this and like this. Yeah, to see the maximum here. So I can tweak the maximum that I want, which is around 190 will be okay, I think. Unless 33, it's not closer now. That is going to sound okay. Perfect. Okay, so now we set random, and then eighth notes. We also don't want to go too close to 0, I guess. Can you tell me more about Faceplant plugin? Sure. Faceplant is when you open it up as a plugin. It is its own, like, make your own synth kind of thing. So if you get into modular, which by the way you shouldn't, but if you do, this will be very familiar to you in that you can say, oh, I need a saw wave. You get yourself a saw wave. I need a sine wave. You get yourself a sine wave, and you can just build it however you want. There's no like infrastructure already set up for you like there is, for example, in Serum. In Serum you have 2 oscillators, and a sub oscillator and a noise oscillator, and that goes all together in this filter. You cannot change that. You cannot say, oh, I want this oscillator here, or I want this filter to be in between the oscillators, or I want 2 filters, or I want 3 oscillators of the wavetable variety. In Faceplant, you can do all of that. You can just design the synth however you want. You can set up FM. It is also nice and visual. As you can see, the waveform actually updates in here if you're applying FM. If you have a filter, there will be a waveform readout for you where you can see what the filter is doing to the waveform. And that's, it's a hybrid like Contact. No, Contact is completely a sampler. What this is you can make a sampler out of it. You could even do multi-sampling if you really hate yourself, because you could load up multiple samples in here and kind of build your own like multi-sampler by basically, you know, with the modulations in here, turning on and off different modulations, I guess. But the main idea behind it is that you just get to have this template that you can work with, that you can just put in whatever you want, right? So you have all of the different modulators in here, you have all of the different effects in here, and then you have all of the different generators in here, including, yes, a sampler. It is capable of playing samples, but this is just to be kind of like the simpler inside of Ableton. I had this in mind for quite a while. Where are you from? I'm originally Dutch, but I've been living in Italy for over a decade now. It's been a decade and half a year. Okay, I want it to be more glitchy, so I'm going to add the glitch on 8th notes. It's getting very glitchy now. We can randomize the seed as well, so we can make sure that it always plays a different seed. The reason why I want to do that is I want to resample a couple of these. 1 bar, we map that to the random seed. And then I'll loop it twice like this. Before we get into that, I'm just going to make it stereo. Like that, yes. And then 61. I think you can use take lanes, right? I never use this because I always look at Ableton in the automation mode, but I do think that there is, yeah, show take lanes. If I record like this, that should be enough. I really liked, so what you can do is you can do it like this. You can select which area you want, essentially. And like that. Is the ability to right-click and choose your VST a new feature? No, that's from the Live Enhancement Suite. Do you like some Dutch/Italian producers? I mean, I don't really care about the nationality of producers. It's not something that I even, like, watch. As, like, a Dutch guy, I know that there is a lot of producers from the Netherlands that go everywhere and that go, you know, they go very big. The Netherlands is definitely a country that, in terms of, if you look at like producers or DJs per capita, is up there with a lot of very big DJs, especially outside of the psytrance scene. But it's not something that I like really care about in a producer. It's not like, oh, they're from my country, so therefore I like them, or they are not from my country, so therefore I don't like them. It's like, I don't care about that stuff. Sorry, I haven't really been keeping up to the chat. For you, using Ableton is like breathing. Yes, very much. I know that's the general theme. I was just wondering what specifically here. I came in halfway. What are you trying to do right now? I was trying to make like glitchy sounds here in this case. Okay, I don't like that texture. Why does it have that high comp filtery feeling to it here? I don't want that. What I guess I want is Echo Boy then. I've been using Echo Boy more and more and more because I really like it. It just has different flavors of delay. This is kind of what I'm after. Have you tried the glitch plugin? You mean the one that I just showed? The deep blue glitch one? This one is great. This is a plugin that I use all the time. Apart from the fact that it doxes my real name and email address, which, to be honest, I don't really care about. The other one that I have that I would recommend is this one, Chris Glitch. It's a little bit more abstract, I would say. It just does like buffer glitching stuff. This one also shows my real name, which is nice. I love when plugin companies do that. I'm assuming that's what you mean. right? With the glitch plugin, because this is the OG. This is the original glitch plugin, the Deep Blue glitch. Just wanted to let you know that you need to continue this channel. There's nobody else teaching this well about sidetrans production, and therefore I need this channel to continue. Well, as long as I can afford to, I will do so. And for now, I'm able to afford to continue with this, and therefore I will continue. It's very simple. The moment that I can no longer pay the bills running this channel, I'll have to stop and find myself a job. Or at least I'll have to tone it down from what I'm doing now, right? You're really into the deep technical side of sound. That's one hell of a dedication. I mean, I have been making music for 10 years now. More, 11. So you kind of naturally get that technical feeling to it. But I've always been interested in technical things, not just in music. So I just take the technical approach that I always liked in whatever I did and apply that to music. Let's see this one. Just gonna do some preset browsing here, see if I can get some nice textures out of this. These patches for the faceplant granular stuff that I did. This is one of the mini packs, by the way. Granular Fun for faceplant, it's called. They're very good at getting very strange textures because there's a very wide variety of textures that you can get from all of the presets. Like this. Let's play around a little bit with that and see if we can get some cool sounds out of it. Have I had faceplant all along? Yes. I've had faceplant for a long time. Not since it came out, but I think like a year and a half after it came out, I started using faceplant. Output sound is pure trash. I mean, what I do is I just use the random stuff in there most of the time, and then just browse seeds like I'm browsing presets. That's the cool thing about it. That's like, let's say that I want to set up some glitch on this part, right? I just go in here, Deep Blue glitch, and maybe I know that I want a random glitch effect every 8 notes, for example. I select bank number 2. There's many preset banks that you can choose from, which essentially just, you know, this is a beat, right? So this is a quarter note. So this is 8 notes. This is 16 notes. And now you kind of know the feeling of the plugin here. This is 4 bars, as you can see. And then there's the bar line up top, right? So then what I do is I just go like this. I just position the mouse where I need it to be, which is right there. Maybe even loop it. And then I can just go... something like that. Now there's randomness in the patch as well. What I can also do is click effects here so that I get some random effects. I don't color in things manually unless I have a very specific idea of what the glitch needs to do. And usually I don't. I like this one. So let's use this one. I like that it kind of stutters and gates a little bit as well. I want this to go in here. Or should I do it? No, this is the spot where I need to do it. It's just very loud here. It's, I guess, yeah, we'll just have it like morph in like this, I guess. Thanks for the stream, gotta go. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, a glitch plugin, you don't put that... I wouldn't put that on the baseline. At least not as your kind of like standard process. This is really... The goal is to mess up a sound in a way that sounds cool. Essentially. How do you make the automation line curve? You hold Alt. And then you get to do this. And I believe there's multiple shapes that you can choose even. For some reason it applies it to the point after it. Like there's this. I never use this, by the way. I only use this stuff over here. I just noticed this now. I guess it always applies it to the curve after it. Ah, it's insert shape. Aha. That's how you get the custom. You cannot just change a shape, I guess, of the line. Because this is different. Like, there's no way you can get this shape with the normal automation lines, right? So this is the normal line that you can get. Which, I mean, for 99% of the shapes that you want is enough. Even if you need, like, a more different shape, you just draw that in. I just didn't know that that was possible like that. Can use that just kind of like high frequency texture like that, very low. Want to try some more glitchy stuff in here, just like short one shots kind of thing. I recently did a patch for a different project where I had sine waves. I think this is the idea of that patch. With note on random on here. And then something like that. Can even do this. I need to open Ableton as well. Yeah, I hope always my stream is like an inspirational moment for other people. Like they can use the patch that I'm making or the ideas that I have and kind of twist them around. And hopefully not record them directly out of my DAW. But just make some cool stuff out of it. So now we can do like a... some cool stuff like that. We can add some crash glitch to this. Here I just go for the presets usually. Maybe we'll go with a different one. Something like that. And we'll again resample this. Resampling is really your friend because it just solidifies the ideas that the glitch machine or whatever kind of generative synth that you're using, generative patch that you're using, it just consolidates the idea for you. Oh. Sorry, wait. It's Control M A, right? No. MA, yeah. I sometimes still get confused with the shortcuts. It's a little bit annoying, but you can only see the track lanes in here. We're getting some cool stuff out of that. Let's see. I like this one, I think. Oh. Or is it this one? I should use the enter stuff. I like that. I'll put this over here. Kind of like a little fill thingy. I like that. And then, so where are we here? This needs to go here. Then. Why and or when use resampling? Resampling, when you're using it, is when you want to solidify an idea. So what we've done here is we have generated some patch, or we've created a patch that just generates some random stuff, right? With the note on random here and the little Chris glitch thing, which uses some randomness, or is based on randomness actually, because the deterministic one is off. Which means that anytime we want to have the same idea over and over again, like we want to commit to a certain sound like we're doing now, you have to resample it. Do you need it for each sound? You don't need it for each sound. Just any sound that you want to fully commit and want to say, okay, this is exactly how I want the sound to be. I need to make sure that every time that it plays, it is not random. It is exactly what I want it to be, right? And that's, for example, with the bass line. It is very important that you clean up your bass line and therefore you resample your bass line. But it can also be the case that, in this case, for this glitch stuff, I want this glitch sound to play always like this. Right? I don't want it to sound any other way, so that's why I resample. Yes, so that's why the reason why I recorded this many of them, so that I can just take the parts that I like and just make the sounds that I want to make out of that. You cannot resample. If you're doing something random, it will always be random. So indeed, you cannot resample something that has already played. At least not in the current Ableton. I think you can do some stuff for MIDI, like capture an idea that just played. But I don't think that that's possible for audio. And therefore, yeah, you would be resampling some new stuff. In this case, the idea of the resampling is, okay, I generate this many things, and that's where I have to make the sounds from. It's true what you're saying, David, but let's be real, nowadays CPU loads aren't as big of an issue as they were 10 years ago. A lot of the advice that you hear about preserving CPU load and preserving cycles when producing music, like on the modern system, just doesn't matter anymore. Unless you're doing stuff with plugins like Omnisphere, which are huge, or you're making incredibly crazy patches inside a Faceplant, or you're using a lot of tracks that use multi-samplers, like Contact, right? In that case, yeah, you're going to have CPU issues, or if you're just working on an older or lower tier system. But if right now you spend $1,000 building a PC for production, I don't think you ever have to really worry about, oh, I need to resample something so that I can, you know, have the CPU cycles that I need. I haven't run into CPU issues since I built the new PC. And that's saying something, because even the old PC, which was like 10 years old, not 10 years, 8 years old when I upgraded it, it only had issues with one project, which had over 300 tracks in it. So that, you know, that at that point, it's really high performance, or really a lot of stuff is happening. So in that, it's the exception, not the rule. Yes, you record several things. I've done that all over the place in here. There's like glitch loops in here as well, and recordings in here. I think some of these maybe. At least there used to be. I may have deleted some of the... Oh no, here. This is where I recorded the whole long thing, and I just chopped it up into this little bit, and this is the bit that I need, and all of the rest of it is discarded, right? Actually, now that I think of it, let's see what happens if we do. They kind of layer on top of each other. Maybe. Please let me align it. I deleted those samples. Next time I'll ask properly, sorry. No worries. You can keep the samples. I don't mind it. It's just that I wanted to say it more like as a warning for if you ever join somebody else's stream. Because I can imagine not every artist, you know, shares... Like, even though they're streaming, they don't want to share samples and stuff like that. As I said, I don't mind it. It's just as a warning for the next time that it happens, or the next time that you decide to do this. Ask in advance. Oh, the resampling that you're talking about in this case is connected to the baseline. Resampling the baseline is a necessity when you're doing your standard multiband processing on your baseline. You know, where you go into plugins like Vitamin or Quadra Fuzz or whatever it is. I do have Vitamin, by the way. So plugins like these, where you use this to process the baseline and you set the filters by ear to process the baseline. This is what you would need to resample, a process like this. And the reason for that is because of post-stringing. Essentially what the filter does is two things. It, one, delays certain frequencies, so it makes them play later. And it also extends certain frequencies. So what that means is that when you think the bass note plays up until here, because this is where the note stops, it actually continues in here, right? Because the filtering is extending and lengthening those frequencies. So your transient of the kick is going to be destroyed because some of the bass is still playing. Even though you say in the MIDI note, like, don't play here. I want you to pause here. I want you to stop because my kick is playing. I, on the other hand, have done a lot of technical things in here where essentially the processing is captured inside of the waveform already. And therefore I don't do any multiband processing and any filtering. And therefore I almost have no post-stringing. So therefore I cannot really show it. If I go to the bass, you can see this is completely silent. And then we have... hey, there's a cursor. I didn't know that. We have our kick and our bass here, and it's all kind of completely silent and doesn't require any resampling. But if you're just normally processing your bassline, I can show you what it looks like, by the way. Give me 2 seconds. If I go in this bassline and I just add a high-pass filter, like a very steep high-pass filter right here, do you see how that changes the bassline? And how, especially here, once the filter is engaged, that there's some stuff happening here now. Now it's silent, right? Completely silent. I turn on the filter. Oh, I need to play this as well. If I turn off the filter, it's completely silent. If I turn on the filter, you get your stuff in here. And the more that I change the filter, you can see it's messing up the like transients in all kinds of way. This is the kind of post-stringing that you would need to resample for. That's what you remove when you're resampling your baseline. That's a different kind of it is also resampling in that you're sampling something that you made, so you're returning it into a sample, I guess. But it's a different reason why you would do it than what we were doing with the glitch stuff. The glitch stuff is purely for consistency, and resampling your baseline is purely for cleanliness, cleaning up the mess that you create when you're processing your baseline. Also, sidetrans is really not popular in the USA. I know, I've heard that. To freeze these so that we can get I do have a video on this, by the way, something like the reason why you need to clean your base, that goes into much greater detail. The video that goes into the most detail is probably my ultimate guide to sidetrans baselines, the 3-hour long one, but I understand that not everybody might have the time to watch that fully, so there is also a like video specifically on the reason why you would want to clean your kick and base, and then how to do that. I'll post both in the chat because I think both of them are very interesting. This is my ultimate guide to the sidetrans baseline. It's 3 hours and 20 minutes ish, and then where is, I guess that one is a little bit older, right? Clean. This one here. This is your sidetrans baseline clean? Here's how to fix that. This is very useful information to know. It's like the final step of the base production, because after that you cannot go back into it even, right? I want to add just a couple of fades to this. Can turn this down 5 semitones too then. Let's see what this key is in. I need this to be in D sharp then, right? Do I need it to be in C then? C sharp. So F sharp, F, E, D, D sharp, another 5. Yes. And then I would like to crossfade here, please, Ableton. Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Can I do that? This is one of those random actions which becomes really laggy in Ableton. As you can see, drawing the animation for the crossover for some reason is very laggy. And I want this to be on Complex Pro. Sits nicely with the fact that the kick and bass starts again there. That's exactly what I wanted. And Pete, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. People still use freeze effects. I read that it was, I think, in the 90s because the PC were really weak for real-time audio. Yeah, as I said, nowadays you don't really need to resample for just saving CPU cycles. There is still the option, you know, the freeze track option, because Ableton doesn't like bounce in place for some reason. The main thing that I would use that kind of thing for is just like committing to the sound design. So let's give an example, this thing here. I like this sound. I would maybe want to edit it a little bit more in a waveform. That's when you would use the freeze, or as you call it, freeze effects. Every DAW has its own terminology for it. There's also like a bypass effect for all of the effects that you might, or all of the plugins or effects that you might have on a track. For example, in Reaper, that's the case. There's just this one effects flick, and that will just turn off every plugin but the synth, I guess. I don't know if that's what you mean, or this kind of resampling here. What's the most common bugs you see in Ableton? I mean, not bugs per se, just baffling design decisions. You know what I mean? Like, Ableton was designed for live performance, and that's still a fairly big thing, or a fairly big part of the Ableton brand, but it feels like they're still designing the software as if it's exclusively still used for live performance, when that's clearly not the case. So now we made this, with the resampling, we made this sound a lot cooler. Because it does that, which is really cool. If you want me to go a little bit more in depth on what that means, by the way, in regards to the design of Ableton, like their plugin delay compensation and stuff like that. I mean, they don't have... I get it, Cosmo, what you're saying, but they don't have to check. Like, it's common knowledge that Ableton is predominantly used in non-live performances, right? Most Ableton users probably don't play live with it. They're just using it as their DAW. And that's because it's a very capable DAW, right? Throughout the way that it has grown with especially the arrangement mode, it has become more and more just capable of being used in the studio. And essentially, when I got into Ableton, it was just seen as a DAW already. And that was like 8 years ago now. What they need to see is that there's now competition like Bitwig, which people love talking about. Bitwig users are like the Elon Musk stans of of the music production world. They just love talking about how superior the DAW is and how it's going to fix every problem ever imagined in the music production scene. But that aside, they do have a point in that just if you're starting out, then it's a much better DAW to start out with because it's much more complete and it's just a lot more stable. Plugin sandboxing, plugin delay compensation just works as you expect it to. I think that there's just other optimizations as well. One of the things that I've noticed is one of the big things that Ableton does is I think it has to do with the way that they're storing different things. But if I take this massive group that I have here, which is my entire song, and I put SizeScope below it, it will take a while for that to load. Even in this project, which is relatively small for me, it takes a while for it to just go down, right? If I have a project that is like, I don't know, like 200 tracks, and I have a couple of hundred or like 10 Omnispheres loaded, it just takes a minute or two, more than a minute sometimes, to just move a track around. And I think that has to do with the project file structure. Because I did look at that at some point. It's an XML thing, right? It's an XML file and there's loads of indentations and before you get to the tracks, I guess. And then all of the track has to have all of the information, all of the samples that are placed in there. So for each sample, it stores the time frame, it stores all of the attributes of the individual sample, all of this stuff. It stores God knows how many other properties about the effects and all of that stuff. And having to move that in memory, what you essentially have to do is move one part of an XML file to another part, right? This is just the visual representation of that project file then. So what that means is that I guess because it has to do that in a file or in the memory structure, it just takes a very long time to do that. So I think there's ways that you could get around that. I hate when newer plugins are not as optimized as older ones. I mean, they do more. They have a bigger engine, right? It's not that they're less optimized. It's just that the requirements that you had to have 10 years ago when Silent came out is that there was a lot less CPU power in general just to go around between producers. So it would make sense that the plugin could do less. If you look at like Silent versus even Serum, yes, Serum uses a little bit more CPU, but it's just more capable. Just heard of Bitwig for the first time today. What's the big deal about it? It's Ableton, but reimagined to be better. It's like if you were to make Ableton nowadays, all of the new features implemented, just completely rethought from the perspective of a DAW as well. Because Ableton originally is a live performance thing. Ableton originally was this, which I never used, the session view. And then came the arrangement, and then it became a DAW. Bitwig was born as a DAW. In fact, it was created by ex-Ableton employees. Keep saying that Ableton is way harder than FL Studio. I'm not sure what people mean by this, but when I see FL Studio, not gonna lie, I feel lost. I get the same thing, having used both. I think that they're equally complex. In Ableton, you have the whole Max for Life stuff and all of the things that you can do in there. To be honest, if you want to spend 20 years learning Ableton, you won't learn everything that there is. And I think the same is true for FL Studio. People say FL Studio is very easy to get into because it's all separated into unique things. Like you put your effects in a mixer, so you know that you're always going to be in a mixer if you want to affect something. You put your patterns in the what's it called, the pattern sequencer, the pattern trigger, the thing that you know, put the little boxes in. Step sequencer. in the step sequencer. I'm a tracker, dude. What is your experience with house and techno? Do you like it, and did you ever produce it? No. I do like it. I never really seriously produced it. I used to be, back when Big Room House was a thing, I used to do that. But I was terrible at production because I just started out. And then I got into making dubstep. I did drum and bass for a little bit. I did mid-tempo for a long while, which is essentially drum and bass, but very, very slow at like 100 BPM. And then I got into psytrance, and now I'm here. What is the most different about Bitwig? It's more optimized. So Ableton was, I guess, designed 20 years ago, I think, ish, maybe. When was Ableton 1 created? Ableton's first release date. 30th of October 2001. So it's more than 20 years old. Live 1.0. What they did is they just reimagined Live, but with all of the common, or with all of the knowledge of nowadays. Bitwig, I think, is like 5 years old, maybe. So it's just better designed, because we know a lot more about software design since 2001. The workflow, yeah, the main reason why I stepped away from FL Studio was the workflow stuff. There's something like the audio engine and the program are separate in Bitwig, so if a VST crashes, you don't lose your work in the same way that, and you can just restart one of the engines. Exactly. So that's one of the things, right? Nowadays, we know that sandboxing different parts of a process can lead to more stability, because if one part of the process crashes, it doesn't crash all of the others. In the same way that it used to be the case that if you have Chrome, right, all of these tabs were essentially one process. So if this tab were to crash because somebody put some malicious code in here, or like a fork bomb or something like that, it would crash your whole browser. Nowadays, you just close this tab and these ones keep going. We learned that from just the last 20 years of software design. And the same way is true in like the DAW space. We just learn what works and what doesn't. So VST is apparently is a hassle to work with, because it was created back when plugins didn't exist, right? It's the first plugin format, I guess. And now we get VST2, and then VST3 came out, which was even better, but still was, as far as I know, it's not a nice way of coding things, the VST format. So now we're getting stuff like Clap, and which is like a newer format still. It just gets iterated on and redesigned and just improved by, you know, the experience that you get from the last however many years it is between Ableton coming out and Bitwig coming out. How do you make your ARPs with these pads sound like an atmosphere? This stuff, you mean? This is, I don't know. I guess this is the patch if you want to copy this, but it doesn't tell me quite a lot. Ah, here you go. There's a lot of reverb and a big chorus on it. This is it, the effects. So you can copy these effects to turn a plug, a very simple plug into like a ghostly pad kind of thing. I like how this lines up with the bass, but kind of in the other way. Okay, what I'll do here is add an EQ before the frequency shifter, which then just quickly goes up here, like this. I get myself a trans gate. This needs the same kind of sweep up here as this thing has. You hear how this is kind of like, it just kind of stops, I guess, but it has this cool sweep effect to it. We can do the same thing here. Okay, what I probably want to do is remove a little bit of that transient. I just made entire line curvy like all the dots. You mean the thing that I talked about before, this stuff? You just hold Alt. There's, I think, a plugin for OBS that allows me to have somewhere on the screen like the Alt and the Control and the Shift key if I use them. Like I could have them up here, for example, where nothing is going on. But I don't know where that is. I would love to have that also for videos, because it makes seeing what's happening on the video a little bit easier as well, in some cases. Like you can just have that in there if I specifically point out something like a shortcut. It's just easy to show what is happening. But I don't know how that works. Like I haven't found that. Have you ever tried drawing or 3D modeling? I used to draw a lot. I used to be like, or not really drawing, but doodling, I guess. Just like small little picture thingies I would make all the time. I want part of this here, this. It's kind of like this, kind of running around. Sounds very bad here. I think I'll just have it maybe like this. Can we see your doodles somewhere on Discord? I mean, I no longer have a lot of them. I no longer do it, but back when I was like, I guess up until I left for Italy, I guess. That's kind of when I stopped. How did you make the whisper sound? This one? This is just a saw wave with a frequency shifter. This is probably the easiest sound that I know how to make. Of course, there's a lot of effects, like we have the filter effect in here. We have this filter kind of going up and down. We have reverb on there, which is fully wet. That's important, by the way. And then here the utility is really just meant to turn off everything, I guess. And then we have our trans gate. So nothing left of them. No, I'm very bad at keeping records of anything. I have lost a lot of footage over the years, even of this YouTube channel, but all of the other YouTube channels that I used to have, just because I didn't save anything. I've lost pictures of myself because I just delete stuff off my phone. I have lost old music that I made. Anything that I made, I think, more than 4 years ago is lost now. So I am very bad at keeping records of things. So even the doodles like that, yeah, no, I never kept them. Kind of like, sounds like voices echoing. This part here. So this is a string thing. I have this. This is an omnisphere patch. I have some samples in here. This is not it. I think this is also used to be an omnisphere patch because it says freeze there. Do you regret stuff you lost? Not really. Like the only reason I regret losing the music that I made before, like 4 years ago, is because it would be cool to have a I have been producing for 10 years now kind of video, right? And this is all my music. But that's the only reason. Like, I don't care about that stuff. I know deep down that it was terrible music, what I made back then. So I don't I don't have sentimental things like that. As a child, I used to collect rocks and crystals and all kinds of stones and stuff like that. And I had a fairly big collection, and I even went one day to a guy that my father knew who also did like rock collection, and he would go out on vacation to like actually search for stuff at volcanoes and stuff, right? And when I got to Italy, we moved, and I put it all in a box, and I got to Italy, and I never took it out of the box. So I just don't care about sentimental things that much. So no, do I regret it? No. Only for the fact that I'm now lacking an amazing piece of content that I could make. Where's this guitar from? Let's have a look. Show in browser. It's from a Loopmaster CD that I got with computer music. Guess it's the last bit of the... Yeah. And then it's pitched down, probably. With... With M transformer. Funny. I also have whispers here, by the way. Who asked for the whisper? More in the harder, dark part, but kind of sound like voices echoing. This might also be, yeah, it looks to me like this is also from a, if I just search whisper in here, maybe? One of these packs. One of these things.
States of consciousness. Feel the power. Reach for the sky.
It's our secret.
It's our secret.
It's just that, but I guess reversed. And stretched and stuff like that. Maybe it's multiple samples in one. I kind of don't want to reverse it again because it's... It may cause issues. I guess I could quickly do it like this. I don't... See, it also uses the altered state of consciousness thing. This one.
States of consciousness.
I lengthened it, I reversed it, and then I put a delay on it and some stereo width. Can you make another sound using a vocal sample to convert this sound in a sound like the trumpet? Or how do you add ad-lib or phrases? I mean, ad-libs and phrases, this is not hip-hop, so we don't do speech on here, I guess. This is not meant as like a beat for somebody to sing on, if that's what you're wondering. In regards to what I want to add to the track, I'll hopefully try to do that myself. Come up with the ideas myself. I don't know what I'm going to add. I think I'm happy with what this is doing now, so I would like to lay out the track a little bit more this way. What I think I want to do is another fill here, like a long fill, like this, I guess. And then one more section of the lower bass, but a little bit different. And then we go and pitch up here, and then we go into this part. Like this, yeah. I should probably freeze this as well. How long have I been streaming? 1 hour, 40 minutes. I'm about to take a quick break here of the streaming. It's a really cool sound, by the way. I think I'll reverse this one again so that we can use this in our little part here. Because this is like a nice building up high energy part, right? So then we go into our final part with the kick and bass here, or with the darker bass line. And I think I just want to go into just standard bass stuff, no melody anymore. And that's one of the reasons why I decided to resample as well, because that gives you, for this one, it just gives you no tail here, which is nice. You can even do like this. Maybe add one of these risers to it as well. Probably need some more stuff on there. What I wanted to add was maybe like a breakbeat. CM samples, bonus drum and bass, beats, breakbeats. This is cool. They're all the same tonality, but different versions, I guess. I have an idea here. Nice little fill thingy. Do you use plugins like Looperator? I think it can do awesome stuff to the bass line. Looperator, isn't that the same kind of thing as the glitch plugin that you asked about before? Like a plugin that is just meant to mess up the sound? It's a multi-effect sequencer. Yeah. How exactly would you do that on the bass line then? Like, what does it do for you on the bass line? Sorry, I'll put it here. Look how bright I get if I do this, by the way. You can see it in the camera as well. Here. So this is, as far as I understand, this is the playback buffer, right? So this is, it plays the buffer twice. It plays the buffer back and forth here. It plays the buffer back and forth here, but slower. It plays it 8 times, right? And this is then like a volume envelope you can put on it. An effect, a filter envelope you can put on it, and another effect kind of thing. Isn't this what this is? Right? It's just like a buffer reader, because it also says the slice. So I assume that this is the buffer, and you just pick out whichever part of the buffer that you want to affect. No? I do like loops and volume up and downs in there. Honestly, when it comes to that stuff, I would just do that in the timeline. I don't have it in here, but I just have a rack for filtering, which just has 4 macros: high pass filter, low pass filter, and their respective like cues for the different filters. I just automate this if I want filter transitions and stuff like that. It's more like a gator, I would say, with some envelopes in it. This one not. Okay, so it doesn't do buffer reassignment then. It just does like playback in the same way. It doesn't take like a sound that is supposed to be here and places it here, right? I've already closed it, but I think you saw what I meant. Wait, I can open it again in history. Because see, what I mean is that it takes slice number 1 and places it at the point of slice number 2. That's what this looks to me. Right? So that's buffer reassignment. That's what that's called. You take this part of the sound and you just play it here at the point number 2. The 7th part of the sound, you play it here and here. Otherwise, if you don't put anything, it just, I assume, takes the input from the buffer directly. I wouldn't do that on the baseline. I wouldn't use the slice then on the baseline. Yeah, it's like a glitch machine. It's essentially a different interface for the glitch plugin. It's the same kind of effects, but differently set up. In here, it is more on the sequencing of the individual effects, whereas there you can, I guess, layer multiple effects on top of each other as well. And it has the envelope and the buffer shifter in there, which this doesn't have. But it's kind of like the same plugin. There's a little issue with this. It's not fully quantized. Still not. This one is very early and then this one is okay. When you're doing glitching like that, you do need it to be quantized, because otherwise it takes like transients from other parts and stuff like that. I'm going to freeze this so that we push it in there. Here it's more advanced glitch, but without actually destroying the sound. I don't know what you mean with destroying the sound. That's the point of a glitchy plugin. It is to controllably destroy the sound. Maybe you say that you have like more control over it, which can be the case fully. But overall, like that's the point of the plugin, is to be glitchy. And I can assure you that the way that I see the interface of Looperator, I bet you it can get pretty crazy too, just like glitch. And if you want, glitch can also just be a resonator, right? You can just take glitch, and without actually destroying the sound, you can just, I guess, yeah, take the modulator here and just put that on there. And now it's just a resonator. Or you can maybe even just turn it into an actual delay. Yeah, so now it's a delay. That's kind of funny, actually. I do want to slightly quantize this a little bit more. It's just like slightly delayed sometimes. I guess everything that's happening before it is fairly quiet because of the filtering. Okay. To be honest, I don't really care about ChatGPT's definition of certain plugins. If you don't mind. Like, I've been producing for a decade. I'm pretty sure that I know more about music production than ChatGPT. And even then, it's just browsing the internet, essentially. Do you think Glitch is better than Glitch 2? Well, it's better in that it's free. So the barrier of entry is lower. And that's the reason why I got it. Yeah, it does. It is 32-bit. It is not 64-bit. But I do have a bridger, so that wasn't too big of an issue for me. This is the one that almost never plays. I like how I spelled sequence here. Sequenize. Let's freeze this. So now I'm just, again, committing to the sound. I don't even know what the sound is going to sound like. It is fully random, but I just need like a little atmosphere thingy here. So I'll just do like this and this. I also saw that it started to load, so that's one of the reasons why I did this. That's cool. Do you use a protection to your ears when you produce, and how much time do you consider to stop to take a rest? Well, when it comes to the rest, it's not like I do it like very controlled. I just at some point notice like, oh, I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm getting a little bit, pressured on my ears. For one, I don't play at a fairly high volume. My system naturally has a lower volume because I just turn it down in here already. But even the output volume of like my headphones isn't that loud. So I like to produce fairly quiet. Also because I've always been around like neighbors and stuff like that. So I've always had to keep it quiet. And never in like an isolated studio where you can really turn it up. But other than that, there's not really anything in particular that I do to say like, oh, now I need to take a break for 15 minutes because I have been producing for an hour or something like that. I just notice myself getting tired and needing to rest, and then I take a rest. In fact, I do want to take a rest right now, and I'm just going to put on a track. What I'll usually do is I'll have the stream open on my phone so that I can check when the track is roughly finished. And then once the track has finished playing, I'll get back here and entertain you guys again and produce again and continue working on this thing. So I'll put on this track right over here. Do I? No, somebody... Yeah, no, this track here. I'll put this track on. Because the last stream somebody asked me about the Mind B collab that I made a while back, if I wanted to play that. But I do believe that I played it then. So right now, this is a production that I'm working on. It is, I guess, almost finished. I guess this is the one that is closest to being finished out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 productions that I have. This one is not going to go on the album. I'm working on a new album, essentially. So this is the track that is closest to being finished out of the album productions, I would say. Do you test final sounds on different systems? And if yes, do you change some EQ afterwards to change the way it sounds? On not so quality on speakers, headphones, earphones. Yes, I do test on multiple systems, and I do then EQ differently or make changes depending on what I hear. Because if you don't, what is the reason to test on multiple systems, right? You test on multiple systems to change the decisions that you're making in the mixing. And therefore, I'll usually listen to my mix both on speakers as well as the headphones that I'm currently wearing. And then I'll test it also on like my phone. I'll put it on my phone and then put on Bluetooth speakers. That's just to kind of get security that it still sounds good there. But the main test that I do for the mixing and to make changes to the sounds of the mix, I use the speakers and the headphones. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break, about this many times, or 9 minutes roughly, and then we'll be back. In the meanwhile, this music will be playing, which you guys have probably never heard before, so stick around. I need like a quick way of doing this.
every night to dream any dream you wanted to dream. Naturally, as you began on this adventure of dreams, you would fulfill all your wishes, every kind of pleasure you could conceive. Then you would get more and more adventurous, and you would make further and further out gambles as to what you would dream. So in this idea then, everybody is fundamentally the ultimate reality.
Some interesting questions in the chat there. Track is finished, so I guess I'll talk about that. It's a little bit late for the trumpet. I think it should still be accessible, right? I can just go in here. I have no idea about chord progressions and stuff like that, so... Oh, it was still playing this. If you want to sample that and run it through some kind of process to find the chords, then you can. I guess I could do that for you. You can just go like convert to harmony here. And then I get this. It doesn't work that well. Maybe if I convert to melody, it works better. Nope. I don't know. I don't know music theory. I have no like perfect pitch or anything like that, so I couldn't tell you. It's originally in F, if that helps. As I said, I don't know nothing about chords or anything like that. I guess that's one of the main reasons why I stick with psytrance, is because I don't care about music theory. But yeah, you can sample that and maybe even do it yourself, find the chords yourself, if you want to. I think I played it without anything else playing just now, right? Do you think psytrance fits perfectly your not very sentimental personality, to you it's unrelated? I think the thing that fits me for psytrance is the fact that because there's no music theory in it, it relies so heavily on sound design, which is so very technical that I really like it. I think that's the reason why I like the psytrance genre more than anything else. I mean, also, when I used to do dubstep, it's the same thing, right? It's just, you play the bass in the root note and you just modulate a whole bunch of stuff. That to me had the same kind of feeling, in that I could just get very technical with sounds. And I found that I really like that. And I think that that's just what keeps me interested in the genre. The technicalities of the sound design, I guess. Let's get ourselves a nice big impact. Which will place right here. I have to align this because this is slightly like that. Okay. I think I won't have the hats in here after all. If you had the choice between Pigments 4 and Minimal Audio Current, which one would you choose? I have never used either of those synths. So I really cannot give you an informed opinion on them, to be honest. I'm sorry, but I've no idea. I think I want to keep just a little bit of bassline in here, just fully without anything. And then we go reverse kick into it again. So this one, I guess. Here. Or do we have some kind of atmosphere that kind of fades out maybe. Me too, I'm not into music theory, so I compensate by stitching samples. You compensate by going very technical. Do you agree? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how you produce, but I can tell you that what I do tends to be very, very technical and very abstract, I would say. The kind of sounds that I like tends to be very weird and crazy sound design, and that's the thing that I love to do. This kind of stuff. Maybe if you put this here, it's better. Give it a bit more feedback. Let's go to like 80. What is the reason for this questioning? I guess I mean, everybody has their reasons to interact with the chat. And people asking questions, I like it. I don't mind it whatsoever, because it's just a nice way to have an interaction with your community. Ooh. It's too dark. To confirm that there's many pathways into music. That's true, but I guess the question he asked is, why is it relevant to the stream? And the reason why it's relevant to the stream is that's because that's what the stream is for. It's for you guys to interact with me and ask me questions, and for us to just have a chat. Otherwise, it would be fairly boring, I would say. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this sound in here. There's a little bit of randomness to this one, I think, because it started later that time. So I'm going to freeze it so that we can make sure that it doesn't start too early. I don't want it to cover up the kick and bass immediately. And there's many more yet to be discovered. True, yes, everybody has their own way. Every new artist adds to the knowledge that exists in the music community. If they're actually interacting with it and, you know, being part of the community, they'll influence other people in how they think about writing music. And that's cool. That's what the music community should be. Right? And I'm just doing my part in that. I think I'll keep it for just this little part here. I don't want it to be the whole thing. And then we'll add another atmosphere to it. The stream is, yeah, it is indeed for you to, not just weird ass questions, but just questions in general. It's just interaction. It's the thing that I don't get to do in videos, right? Because in a video, there's not really a form for me to interact with you guys in the same way that there is during a live stream. I think what I want to do is try Omnisphere, because I think I've gone through all of my granular synthesis, or we could make one from scratch. Let's do that, because that's more fun. Let's go granular. Let's go... what's this stuff? Wait, there's... Ah... Oh, these are the samples that come with it, I think. Let's try something here. I'm going to go position up and then this down. Maybe this isn't the best sample. That's cool. I like that. A little bit of panning for some stereo width. And then we'll distort it and spread it for more stereo width. And that's cool. We can just kind of open it up over time. Again, this is the kind of thing that you want to freeze because there's randomness in there. We need to shut down this music production. It's too fast and it will destroy the fabric of space-time. I already called CERN about it. Okay, thank you. I will stop producing then, I guess. By the way, fun thing about CERN, if you go there and you just ask nicely at CERN, you ask for some of their like waste products, they will just give it to you. It's nice, you can just drink it. Makes you nice and strong. Okay, this has a little bit of resonance to it. We'll remove that here. Of course, it's really harsh, so we'll delay reverb. Like, yeah, you can just go there and ask. They'll just... Do I smoke weed when I produce? What I do is I have a week, usually, where I produce, and a week where I don't produce as much. And then in the week where I produce, I tend to do smoke a little bit. And then when I don't produce, I'm completely clean. Just so that I have like a clear headspace when I need to think about business stuff and YouTube stuff and all of that kind of crazy stuff. What happens when you drink it? I've been drinking it for a while, and it just tastes nice, and it's just good, and that's it. Nothing happens really. You just drink it and nothing happens. I do start to feel some extra limbs growing from some places, but yeah, just don't worry about it. Don't ask too many questions. No, it's just it's like a syrup thing, but with so in the Netherlands, syrup like lemonade syrup is very popular, and I still want that because it's easy to make and it allows me to just make a bottle of a drink and quickly drink something. So I don't have to buy too much bottles from the store, and you know, when you get that home, I don't want to buy too many things, I guess. So having one bottle of syrup that makes me 10 bottles of, you know, this stuff to drink is a little bit easier. So that's why I drink it. And the reason why this one is green is it's like a Mentos thing, like mint thing, I guess. And I guess that's green, but the other ones that I have are like normal. I have a different one that is, you know, Frutti di Bosco, the forest fruits, a whole collection of fruits from the forest. Nice wave cycle, by the way, that we just stumbled on. But I just make a bunch of different ones, and this one was just to test out. To be honest, it's not my favorite, but it's tolerable. I thought it would be a lot worse. But it's okay. The problem is, since I moved to this apartment, I now have a different store, and it used to be the case that the other store that I went to had a lot of different varieties of syrup, and a lot of the varieties were very, very good. One of them was they just had brown sugar. It was really strange. If I drank it, it looked like I was drinking cum. Like sperm cum, that kind of cum. So I didn't drink it on stream for obvious reasons, but it was really, really good. And in the new store, they only had the only syrup that I liked from the old store that was still there was the Frutti di Bosco, the forest fruit thing. I don't know if that's the real way that they say it in English. That's how we say it in Italian and Dutch as well, I guess. Bosvruchten. But anyway, so over the last few months, I have slowly tried out all of their different syrups, and none of them were good. The only one that is somewhat decent is this one and their strawberry one. But the problem with strawberry syrup is that it doesn't actually taste like strawberry. It just tastes like if you were to describe the taste of strawberry to somebody else who has never tasted it and they had to remake it from scratch. That's kind of what it tastes like. This might be too high in pitch. I think what we need to do here is, or what I want to do here is, I want to move this here, and then like this, and I want to bring some of the drums back, so maybe already the clap or something like that. Nice 8-bar section of claps there, which means that I have some space to do a sequence in here, or some energy to do a sequence, which is what I'm going to do. Raspberry is always the best. I agree, but we just don't have that. Is this high-tech talk? Yes. Mainly talking and a little bit of producing. I guess we can do like FM, the mute production way, right? For those that don't know, you go like this, I think, if I remember. And then I have to set the frequency to, we are in C sharp, so I'll go un-BPM it and then go like this. Right? This is the... Yeah. What could be cool is to, because this is now, so this is now tied to this frequency here and no longer to like the key that you play. So we could go and take my full 4 bars of MIDI thingy here, make it the right color, and then arpeggiate between different notes randomly so that we get different timbres. Like that. For some reason there's one massive spike up there. I think the highest notes don't really do anything. So if I delete or like 0 this. Yeah, but then I don't like the sound of that actually. Do I become more yellow if I do this? I do. You sent me some. That would be very nice if you would do that. We can talk about that later in DMs too, so I can give you my address. If you want to do that, I would highly appreciate that. Because having some good syrup is very, very nice. Another thing that I'll do is make a video tutorial on how I make my own iced tea. I no longer have it. Here's the finished bottle that I had before of iced tea. But I make my own iced tea by just like literally making tea and then making it cold. Right? But never heating up the water. I'll make maybe even a video about it, because there's some cool things that you can do with that. Even like adding spices to it and stuff like that. You can get really crazy if you want to. But one of the reasons why I mentioned this now is I do want to get at some point more real life stuff in there. Like I did the studio tour and the DJing video. And both of those were very well received. And people said like, oh, you need to do more of this stuff. You need to do more, you know, just personal stuff. So I want to do that. And one of the things that I could do is show you how I make my iced tea. I think you guys know what I mean when I say the iced tea. It is actually a really easy process in that you just have a bottle like this, fill it up with water to like here, and then add a little bit of honey that fills it off. And just add your tea bag in there and just leave it for, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then I take the tea bag out, take the exact same tea bag, I take 2 of the same tea bags, right? 2 of the same flavors, I guess. I first hang one in, and then after 10 minutes, I hang the other one in, and then it's done. And you can just leave it. It's no work. It's very nice. Technically, if I'm not mistaken, I was hoping that this pitch bend would make it more darker, but I guess it doesn't. Atmosphere is still quite loud. Wheat tea? No, just normal tea bags. Just like your run-of-the-mill standard stuff. I say standard stuff, but I import it from the Netherlands, the tea that I use for it. Mainly. I can use like the Italian tea as well, but the Dutch tea, they have more flavors. It sounds stupid, but there's a few flavors that I still missed from 10 years ago. So that I have my sister send them to me. Or when I go to the Netherlands, I went to the Netherlands, I guess a month ago now, almost precisely. So, yeah, the tea that I use, I get that from the Netherlands, and I just bring it with me whenever I go. I have to go. My boss already saw me watching this stream instead of me working. That's unfortunate. Maybe you should be working though. If I hear the way that you're speaking, your boss seems kind of angry. You should be getting angry at me as well, because I'm not getting any work done either. But how do you get high when it's normal tea? I don't understand. I don't. I just don't. So you're in Italia, but you're from the Netherlands. Well, we call it the Netherlands, but yes, you're correct. Yorkshire tea. I'm not that much of a tea person, like I don't know the different teas, but the one that I have is, or the one that I like the most is Moroccan mint tea. I can get a thing. 2 seconds, I'll be back. I'll get a package so you know what it actually is. This stuff. This is the best tea in the Netherlands. It doesn't focus. I need to focus it manually, I guess. It gets worse. Here we are. Pickwick Minty Morocco. Very, very good tea. And then I also have the chai spices, the chai masala spices. So, these you can mix with the tea. It's a mess because then you have to filter it. But it is very, very nice. And this is just the Morocco tea. I've been drinking this all my life. It's the best tea out there. End of discussion. It's neither lands nor land. It is great. It is amazing. The ones made by Lipton are better. But there's less in the package, so it's not as good to take with you if you're importing stuff to Italy. Because Lipton does like triangle bags for more space for the spices and stuff. I was gonna tell you what's in it. It's mint and cinnamon, I think. At least that's what it says on the packaging. But I assume that there's more in there. Yeah, spearmint, cinnamon, zoethout. What is zoethout? The tag language to English. Zoethout. Licorice. Aha. So it has some licorice in there as well. And then like a spice mix on top of that. Last time I had chai, I boiled some wheat in it, thought I was gonna die. That sounds like a very bad idea. I've had edibles, and to be honest, I don't like the fact that it takes like 2 hours for you to get high, and that it takes 12 hours for it to stop again. I think it's too long. The devs really should update that part of this game here, make that time a little bit shorter. I think it's an overpowered meta. Tea technology, yes. If I'm drinking tea, I don't want to get high from the tea. I just want to drink something because I'm thirsty. I tend to drink a lot, so it wouldn't be a good idea anyway. It's a good idea, but I had no idea how to make it, so put it in, then threw up. I would die. You're high on life. Yes. Yet 12 hours seems too short on acid. Yes, true. At least when I did it the last time, I was like, this can't last me long enough. Until I wanted to go to sleep and I couldn't. That was the only thing that I didn't like about it. When I decided, okay, it's late, I'm physically tired, I want to go to sleep, I just couldn't sleep. I just stayed away the whole night. This is a long time ago. This was back when I lived in Budapest, for those that were here in the very early days. Yeah, mine wasn't that big of a doses either. At least, I guess maybe for first time, I don't know, is 200 for first time, is that a lot? 200 micrograms? Because I think that's what it was. It's been a long time, so my memory is fuzzy on it. Just, I know for a fact that you just get fuzzy memory, because you cannot like physically maintain some of the connections that your brain makes while you're on acid. Like you lose some of the neuron connections, I guess. So some of the things you just physically can't remember, but I can barely remember the experience. The Budapest days, yes, back when I had hair. I kind of want maybe even lower. It's very loud, but I like the effect here. Kind of get that clicky thing going. Or we can go... Wait, 12, 17? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Math. Am I a former acid raver? Not really, in that I do it a lot or I have done it a lot. But I'd like to try things, yeah. I'm not like that into it, to be honest. It's never too late. True. I had a lot of fun on mushrooms on the festival, though. On Burning Mountain. To be honest, when it comes to drugs and stuff like this, I don't want to talk about it too much on my channel. There is still the like negative stereotype and stuff like that. I know in my community it's very, very accepted. but it's never a good idea to, I guess, have it out there on the internet that you're doing drugs. So I didn't mention it in my Burning Mountain video, but I did do mushrooms there, and it was fun. The only reason why I'm talking about it now is because nobody will ever see, I guess, 2.5 hours into a live stream that I'm doing. Maybe my parents, but they already know what I do, so I don't really care. It's not going to come to a shock to them, but say that this stuff, for whatever reason, doesn't work out and I need to look at other employment, and they ask, like, what do you do before this? And I show them my YouTube channel. It's just full of, I don't know, asset reviews and stuff like that. I can never get a job anywhere else. You know what I mean? We only talk about very responsible drug use. Yes, do get your shit tested. If there's anything to say about drug use, is get your stuff tested. You'll do yourself a favor. You'll be much less anxious. Oh, wrong thing. When you take it, and that's very, very important. We'll have a little uplifter here. Okay, so I guess in this build-up thing here, I wanted to be fairly aggressive on this part. Like maybe even another breakbeat thing that we can do. Kind of like we did here, where it's just a... that kind of thing, but I wanted to have more bass, more impact to it. Do I still have it open here? No. Breakbeats, there we are. I like that one. What we can do to add more impact to it is to just replace the kick with this kick. This doesn't work for me. What if we remove this and this here? How to generate ideas for beats? I mean, for fill in kicks or snare. I did put up a video about making kicks. When you talk about like the kick fills that we have in here, for example, this stuff, right? This. That kind of stuff like this. And this. I just make them, like there's no philosophy or any thought to it. I just listen to what works. I do have a video on that, which I'm trying to find. I think I called it complexities back in the day. I say back in the day, but I made it earlier, like 2 months ago, I think.
Everybody, welcome back.
Multiple projectors. Here we are. That video, it's how I made the kick fills in this track, actually. I think I made this one on the... Or all of the kick fills in this section I made during the video, maybe? Or this section, I don't remember. And I went over some other ones as well. Speaking about that, I do need to do some kick complexities and kick fills and stuff like that in here again. Because here I want to get back into that. I want it to be less in the darker part. Because that focus really on the low, like dark feeling. And this is more high and upbeat and technical and glitchy and stuff. So here the kick fills feel better. But of course we're going to go back into that kind of feeling here. It's kind of like the flow of the track is like a dip in it. In the story, I guess you could say. If someone would commission you to make an ambient, transient DMB game soundtrack, would you take it? It depends on the terms of the commission, I guess. If they ask me to do it for $2, I won't do it. But if you pay me enough money, I'll do anything. I'll try to record a rock album if you really give me enough money. I'll just hire some guitarist and have him figure it out or whatever. Whatever the budget allows. If it's like if I can get paid to do music, whatever music that is, it's fine by me. It doesn't really matter what exactly the type of music is. The people that follow me and that know what I do will know that I specialize in psytrance. So I assume that all of the commission work that I'm going to get is going to be in that region, like for mixing services and mastering services and stuff like that. Which, by the way, I already do on my website, projectorsound.com. I guess I should show you, for those interested, since you guys brought up the topic. It's not me self-promoting, you guys ask for this. There's a mixing service document right here, which has all of the details about my mixing and mastering services. And for some reason the URL is like this, but doesn't really matter. The original website is projectorsound.com. You'll find cool pictures of me. And there's a lot of information about it. Have you tried Bitwig? Yes. You were there. I did it on stream. Maybe we do filter it in a little bit, so... I have a final fill in here. Do I no longer have the... This is, by the way, for those that don't know, this is the only way that you can open multiple folders in Ableton's browser. Is if you search things, it will keep the old folder open, I guess. I've seen this happen a few times now, and it's kind of funny that that happens. How dare you self-promote on your channel, which is your own, which we come to watch you. Yes. I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. I want to try something here. I really want this to have a different tone. Maybe we should even like change the pitch of the snares a couple. I mean, you can still tell that it's the same tonality of sample. What if I just get like an actual fill from, I guess Cashmere will work. We can make like a reverse thingy here. If we just go like this, just like fade through it a little bit, and then we'll turn that into one audio file. Technically, this is also resampling. We talked about it at the beginning of the stream, but this is also a thing where you just take an audio signal or an audio or like a sound and just turn it into a new file so that you can edit it. Now I have this like fade to it. It feels like it's still very loud, this one here. Maybe I shouldn't boost it 9 dB into there. Let's do a little waveform check here, just on this part. So when you work on your own track, you really have fun with the process? Yeah. Yeah, I like music. I like making it. I like listening to it as well. I like listening to psytrance in particular. Okay, so for me, I think that the breakbeat is still too loud. Clearly. And what we should probably do is maybe take off like 2 dB here. Let's start with -3. I want this to have more impact, so I want this to be quieter. That's the idea that we're doing here. It's still loud. -6. Because -6 dB halves the size of the waveform. So we should be good. Maybe like 2 dB off of that. What I'm looking for in the waveform is just the size of things. I want the kick of the drop to have more impact than the kick outside of the drop, and therefore I'm just looking at the size difference between stuff that is happening here and stuff that's happening here. I want this to be louder. I want this to be, you know what I mean? It needs to hit you. What if we low pass this bit here? Oh, it's Bitwig for collab and the resampling is so good. I know! I want it! I want bounce in place. I want all of the stuff that Bitwig has, but I don't want Bitwig. I want that stuff inside of Ableton. And the reason is I have like, at any time I have 7, 8 active productions going on. How is that master track set up? Is it just another audio track? Yes, it's just an audio track that records from my master output. So all of these groups, I messed something up there, as you can see. All of these groups go into the master out track here, right? And this is set to input so that it receives all of that audio. And then this sends it to the output group, and then this sends it to the master. This means I can have stuff on here, which exists and does my mastering. Apparently, I already have a master chain on this. Interesting. I didn't know that. And then I have my reference track, which doesn't go through the master. And I have all of that stuff up here neatly hidden away. I just take input from that master out, from this track that I'm mastering on, and I just place it in here. I wonder... It is making it a little bit louder, so that might be clogging up my ear a little bit. Because I normally never, you know, master the track in the production. There's a Max for Life plugin that replicates bounce in place. I know, but anything other than right-click, bounce in place, and it creating a new track with the audio on it below is going to be slower than the way that Bitwig has it. So I want that. It's in every DAW except in Ableton. Even FL Studio has it now. Or at least it has like a very similar function. I think they call it like resample. Because back in the day when I used FL Studio, audio recording was the worst. Like, it's not even comparable to what Ableton has now, where you have to manually record it into a new track and you have to make a new track. In FL Studio, you had to go into the mixer of all things, load up an effect called Edison, and you had to record from there and then drag it into the playlist. There was one more step still. And there's still no nice resampling for Ableton 12. Everything that they announced for Ableton 12 doesn't interest me. Like, it's cool to have the mixer here, but I don't really care about it because I never mix in Ableton. I mix in Reaper. So, and that's the only thing I was really like, oh, that looks super cool. The node modifiers, like, it's all stuff that I already have my own workarounds for and that kind of thing. To be honest, I don't know a lot more. They had the whole sample selection, the whole browser updates. I don't care. I generally know what kind of sound that I want to go for, and I don't have a hard time finding what I need with just the search function. I switched to Ableton from FL because of the shitty Edison resampling. It's terrible. I hate it so much. It's the worst idea there is. To just have, like, the record... I get where it comes from, because it makes sense if you're used to a studio environment, because you literally just had to tap something into the mixer to record from that point, right? That's what they're doing. The flexibility is nice in that you can basically record anywhere in, like, your FX chain. Say I wanted to record right here, you just put Edison in here. So it kind of makes sense. But for 99.9% of the cases, it doesn't, because you just want to record the end of the track, or you just want to have that clip in audio form to quickly look at something. And for all of those cases, it was just too slow. But I think now they have done it much better. To be honest, FL Studio is getting better updates and getting more stuff and getting more interesting faster than Ableton is. But since they made it better than in Ableton. Yeah, I think it's just... From what I know, it's just like in Bitwig, where you just go on the clip, right-click, convert to audio, and it will just literally pop it right there in the template. It's kind of funny that ImageLine is the only company that offers lifetime updates for free on a DAW. And seeing what kind of updates they bring to the table for a version update, even for a minor version update, where you go from 21.1 to, or from 21.0 to 21.1, they add like 1 synth, 3 effects, and 90 like workflow related updates that are actually good, that are actually useful, and that you would use in everyday life, right? In everyday production. In Ableton, you go a massive version higher and they give you 1 synth, 2 effects, like the same thing that you get in a minor update in FL Studio. And you have to pay $150 for it, and most of the updates you'll never use. Like, it's cool that it's there. It's what I said about the browser sampling, searching and tagging and stuff like that. But there's no way I'm going to go in here and tag all of my sounds, all of the thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of audio files that I have on my PC. I'm never going to do that. So I'll never use it. It's a cool feature, but it's I guess kind of just too late. I've built up my sample library already. I know already exactly where everything is. And there's not really a point in now starting to tag my stuff. It's the same with the collections. These collections are... I sometimes use them, but I've criminally underused them. Because it came out when I already knew where to find everything in the plugin thing and in the audio effects thing. So I was already used to browsing in here. And now the only thing that actually changed is the menu. But this is because it's just so massively quick. Right? That there's no comparison to doing this and finding something versus having to look away, look here, be precise because this isn't very big, and then go look for, I don't know, EQ8 and drag it on. As opposed to just going here and then click EQ8. They just listen what people want and then add it, like Melda. Melda's great. Melda, they did, this is a fun thing as well. I used to be on subscription for Melda, for their massive bundle, which was like $500 a year. So, and then it's rent to own. And the whole thing is like $2,040, $2,050-ish, the whole bundle. But they had a discount going at the end of the year for $1,000 off for, like, if you buy the whole bundle, their full massive bundle. Which still $1,000 to spend on plugins. Not everybody's going to have that, but okay. But what they did is, if you were on a rent-to-own subscription plan, you could also discount the part that you already had paid for the rent-to-own part. So I already had paid 2 times $500 for my subscriptions. And then there was $1,000 off. So I just paid $50 for the whole bundle. And now I don't have to pay the other, like, $1,050 anymore. And it still works. They had a sale going on a product, and to not mess up their subscription owners, they applied the sale to the subscription as well. So you could convert your subscription into an actual purchase, and then whatever you already had paid in the subscription also became a discount. That's really interesting. I've never seen that happen before. Like in any plugin company or any other subscription company, where they just, you subscribed for 2 years, that means that you paid this much, we'll give you that as a discount on your purchase, together with the other discount that we're running, which means that you basically pay nothing. It's really cool. I love them. Hello, Sucker of the Year. Welcome, welcome. Maybe this is still a little bit... Or should we already start to pitch up here? Would it be cool to go... Should I end Transformer or Little Altar Boy? I think I'm gonna try both. Or is this... Ah, yeah, wait. This is stepped. I cannot use that. I need to use the VST3 version of the Melda plugins, which I unfortunately don't have in the menu, I think. It only loads VST2, because that's the first one it finds, I guess. I think. But here we can do something like that, and then I just set it to... Because here I can just type in the values that I need. So for precise pitch shifts like these, you need VST3. Because otherwise you cannot type in the values, I guess. I'm gonna make the feedback longer so that it actually covers this whole bit here. But I want it to go down and then back up again. Okay, let's turn that off. We can slightly increase the feedback because we're turning the dry wet off anyway. I think I want this to be a bit more stereo, like the breakbeat here. I think I want to add some kind of like clap loop thingy. Claps, drop claps, this stuff. I want like the brightest, thinnest claps of all. These kind of things. Just like very thin, very high, if I maybe... Yeah. I like the extra volume that we get from that final kick there. I think I'm gonna finish here. This is a good place to stop because we go into like a whole new section of the track. Yeah, I'm going to end the stream here. I do have a call in about, I guess, 25 minutes-ish. I believe that's Russian, but I have no idea how to read that, so I have no idea how to respond to that. I cannot translate that in here, I think. You can translate comments that are in Russian. I sometimes do that to see if they're spam or not. And they're usually nice messages, but I cannot do that here. I'm sorry. Wait, why am I not getting the chat in my chat, but it does pop up on the stream? I have to go... Ah. Maybe I've missed more chat messages then. It doesn't look like I have, but the last few messages didn't show up. I'm really sorry, Russian guy. One, I have no idea what you're saying, and two, I do have to go in a little bit, so I am ending the stream, but I applaud your enthusiasm. YouTube is so laggy the last days. It has been laggy for me since August. At least the stream and issues with the stream and stuff like that. Anyway, this is the track. I'll play it one more time so that you guys have a picture of the whole thing. And then once we get to this point, I'm going to end the stream. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more if there are some other questions or things in chat. But this is what, especially the last part, is what we kind of made today. I mean, we worked on almost everything, but... that snare is painfully dry. The guy just keeps spewing Russian at me. I see Brazilian drum and bass, and that's the only thing I understand. I did not get my new speakers yet. I still need to purchase them, but that will happen within a month. I just need to like measure everything out and get everything ready, get the right stands, do a little bit of more research, get a new audio interface to go with it. And then I can also get the speakers, and I'll just purchase all of that in one go. Yeah. Yo, I know that one. It's on my Instagram. The track here. Is this the one that I sent you for that the visual thing that I did? I thought I sent you the other one. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go. I'm getting a little bit tired, and I do have a call in another 20 minutes, so... oh, nice. For those that don't know, Subject does cool visual stuff, and he asked me for a track, and apparently this is the one that I sent, because I don't remember sending this one, but I thought I sent the other one, but turns out it's this one. The Adams, yes, I'm going to go for those, the Adam T7V. I have it written down somewhere. I have the, it's already in the cart and everything, so it's all set to go. I just need to do the final few things that I need to do to get the confidence to be able to do like one of those purchases, you know, where you spend a relatively large amount of money on thing. You want to make sure that everything is the way that you want it to. And you just need to sleep over on it a couple of days in order to make sure that you have everything exactly thought out the way that it's supposed to be. Not that you get something at your doorstep and you realize, oh, like I don't have space for it on my desk, or I don't know how, or like that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I just need to do that. And then once that is done, it's all finished. Yeah, the bigger ones. I go for the bigger ones. The only thing that I'm really scared of is the depth of the speaker. Like how deep is it? There's a good chance that they're going to be like right here. It's not very far. I can stretch out an arm, and then now I'm stretching out, I'm touching the wall behind it. So there's not a lot of space, but from everything that I've seen, it should just fit in my current setup nicely. Not extremely well, just okay-ish. Anyway, that's going to be the live stream for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one.